Okay, my name is Vanadoe from Pooler, Georgia.
Okay, and this is day 3 after fitting training. You're a critical care nurse, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Actually, I might ask you, what do you do for a living?
I take care of the most critical patients there are in the hospital system.
Okay, good.
The real critical ones.
And your livelihood is on your feet, moving around, and do you think you'll be able to return to work?
I feel confident I will be able to, and I'm talking 12-hour shifts of being on my feet the whole 12 hours.
Okay, and do you think this was worth getting dynamic bracing solutions?
Yes, sir. Not any question, any doubt whatsoever. Because I already started losing so much strength in my leg, I've already had to take off of medical leave, and just walking 500,000 feet with a cane, I was exhausted. With this, I don't know what you want to call it, apparatus,
dynamic bracing, right?
A dynamic bracing solution appliance. I probably walked 2 miles each day and here training to use it correctly without any fatigue.
And then you went, you took it off, and last night you went to a casino?
Like I said, I didn't walk probably a total of over 500, 600 feet, and maybe at the most, maybe it was 500 yards, and I was exhausted without it.
Okay.
I was using my normal power with a cane too, not just walking totally without any help.
Now the others, do you see the difference between a conventional brace and actually this is a whole walking solution? It's
total solution. It's a totally different between it. I consider the old type braces I wore as a kid, and when I see a lot of people in it as being very passive, and actually all it does is keep it from buckling. That's all it really does to the limb, is to keep it from buckling, and it leads to atrophy. Because you're not actually using muscles. You're just not a whole lot different than a cast. Really, when you really get to the bottom line, is someone that's full leg with a hinge into it does nothing different than a cast does. And you're really having to do your locomotion with crutches and whatever. But this is a whole different ball game. It's hard to even describe how much difference this is. You can feel the spring action. You can feel it letting your leg move and the way it's supposed to move, and it don't exhaust you. It takes care of the fatigue factor. One of the things I did after I first saw this at Warren Springs, and we was deciding, yes, we were going to do this just out of curiosity, because I had not been in braces since I was 6, 7 years, 8 years old. As far as the leg, the arm had been later than that, right. The leg. I went to J.E. Hanger Company, which, quote unquote, I was told the biggest in the country. I don't know. They have a big operation in Savannah. I went in and I talked to them about what can you do. They was working on some computerized stuff for the amputee. But when it came down to people like me, the post-polio patient needing a brace of some type, we've got the latest technology, and all their latest technology amounted to was the same old story, just lighter in weight. Nothing that would help you, still back to a passive brace, nothing proactive. I call this proactive or whatever. It's got an active level that helps you. It helps you be motivated, however you want to call it, to be able to move on your own. And whereby all they did, their quote unquote, their stuff was their technology was towards weight. Nothing to help your muscles to work like they were supposed to work and keep you going. So I couldn't see where there was any advantage over, except for gaining a few ounces using their stuff, going back to Warren Springs, having one made out of metal and leather.
Yes.
Because it really worked doing exactly the same thing.
Do you notice that when what we're learning here is how to use less muscle, right, and do more?
Right, and that's what I was talking about. But if I'd had a regular conventional brace on, I would have been much more tired than even I was with no braces on doing what I did yesterday. As it was, goodness, we've put in miles in this room here.
Yes, we have.
And with no fatigue.
And that's when you know you're doing it right.
Doing it right. Yeah. And with no fatigue. And until somebody is experiencing that, it's just hard to describe what it feels like.
Now on the the 10th annual Post-Polio or Polio Health International Conference in Warm Springs.
Right.
What did you notice as far as the outcomes or positive lectures or something that would give you hope? How many?
Nothing. The only thing I came across that was positive was what you were doing with active, I call it active bracing, dynamic bracing, or active bracing is what I call it rather than passive. And the active bracing was the only positive thing there, period. $29.8 million spent in research, and what they was researching is, to me, was a total waste of money. It was showing nothing that was going to improve. I went there with the idea of finding the silver bullet. You know, this is coming on back on me after 50-something years, and I want it stopped. I don't want it to go no further.
Right.
You know, why should I pay the, you know, what's the luck of the draw paying the price twice? I paid it when I was young, now I'm trying to pay it when I'm old. And the stuff they were spending money on research just did not, it wasn't geared to try to prevent us from getting any worse. All it was geared for, somebody got this grant to study, is any connection between post-polio syndrome and this, any connection between that. There was nothing being spent on stopping post-polio from getting worse.
Developing a solution.
Developing a solution to our problem. And that just really upset me. You had the only solution there. I mean, the only thing that could help us.
Mm.
You know, I mean, your solution don't stop us from getting PPS. That's going to happen. You know, if it happens to us, it happens to us. But yours seems to have a thing where it probably won't go any worse than what it is. Stop it right here where it's at, and very well may improve what some of what I've already lost. And I'm hoping for that too, because I'm anticipating gaining back some of the stuff I've already lost. And it was the only thing that was at that international that shows this.
Now, for day 3 of fitting in and learning how to use it, have we met your expectations?
And then some. I have no doubt that I can go back and go to work. Not tomorrow. It's going to take a little more training than that.
Right.
But I have no doubt. I honestly don't believe I'll be out of work over 30 days.
And how about your loved pastime?
I'm going to take it back because I was determined you was going to get me back right. I just put my golf membership on medical hold for the time being. But I also had to take medical leave from the hospital where I was working because the muscles was buckling so bad in my leg until I could not work any further. I had to do that 3 weeks ago. And so I have been unable to work for 3 weeks because of further progression of PPS. And I fully believe I'll be right back carrying the same load I always have and be playing golf again. I thoroughly believe it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, as far as the value of this particular type of bracing, it's there because no other bracing available that I can find on the market any direction has any opportunity to improve you. The rest of them is going to make you deteriorate because they are passive. All they're doing is holding it in place, holding your limb in place. It's not doing anything to help strengthen the muscle. It's not giving any spring action or anything to your step. You are supplying everything. It's holding the muscle in place and probably walking with a crane or a crutch of some kind to help you move, to motivate. And whereby this is giving you some spring action, is giving you support, whereby, just like I said, just a difference in just walking with no bracing, but with a cane, 500 foot, I'm exhausted. And now miles with this in place, probably in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 miles a day and just training here, and I'm still not doing it exactly right. No, I have no fatigue. That is a humongous difference. And from what I can see on the market, outside of this, everything on the market is passive. It's just going to hold the limb in place so that you can use your crutches.
Was it worth the effort to come out from Georgia, and was it worth the money?
Yes, very much so. Very, very much so. I feel like it's very much of value, and it's been very much worthwhile. And it's almost, I come back to the thing, it's almost a necessity. It comes back to being a necessity, really, because without this, hope with this, I'm looking at disability sitting in the house. And some of the people I have talked to with this brace from other places, briefly at International, they were sitting at the house or anticipating having to go in and do disability until they got their hands on this type of bracing or this particular dynamic solutions brace. Now they're back working and carrying on an active life. Some of them are working, some of them are not, but they got an active lifestyle again. Promising daily activities of daily living is back to where as good as can be expected. Expect to get back to where I was at least 4 to 5 years ago. And I started developing the first stages of post-polio syndrome less than 2 years ago, right 2 years ago. But I probably had some and not even recognizing it, yes. So I'm saying I'm going back to where I was at 5 years ago. I feel all confidence that I can do that.
You seen and recognized in Harvey?
I've seen him a lot happier now. He's got a goal out there that's reachable, I think, and he thinks, and it's going to get him back out where we can go fishing and he can go to the golf course and we can go back to the active lifestyle we used to live. And I can get him out of the house and on the golf course. So it's given us a lot of hope that we didn't have before we found out about this. And going back to his first two loves, golf and nursing. So we're very excited. It's been worth the money, it's been worth the time and the energy, everything we have done, it's well worth it. And I would recommend anybody try it. And with us, it's a team effort. And we're used to being very active. And him sitting at home in the recliner just didn't cut it. And this is really, we're happy now because we see the potential we can go back to the active life we lived.
And it takes commitment, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. This is not something that you just slip it on and start walking. And it's going to be an everyday thing of working out. Just like he worked out with his weights and all that, he's going to have to work out with this too. But anything worth having is going to take some work.